Good morning, you absolute legends. This one goes out to the men out there who feel like dating is often a little bit unfair. There can be this feeling of, why do I have to put in all the effort in dating? Why do I have to put in all the effort taking her out for dinner or drinks? Why do I have to make all the moves? Why do I have to be the one that performs? Why do I have to put my effort into self-improvement and go to the gym for years and lose weight and take all these amazing dating profile pictures? And even then, I don't get very many matches on the apps. And then I have to pay for the app and I have to pay to enter the club and she doesn't have to pay. And why is it unfair? Women get to choose and they get to just say no. I'm the one that has to walk up to 100 women in the street and hit on random strangers and overcome my fears. And she just gets to say, no, thank you. I'm not interested. And I go, great. I'll just talk to the next woman then. And I have to put in all the work. A lot of you feel like that. I have felt like that many, many, many times. I don't feel like that anymore. But I went through a long period of several years where I felt very frustrated. There are a million things that I could say here, guys, and those of you that know the channel, you know my thoughts on things like this. Let's focus on the positive, let's play to win. Let's just deal with the cards that we've been given and play them to the best that we possibly can. But at the same time, this is going to be one of those videos where I fully acknowledge how you're feeling. I'm not going to sit here and gaslight you and tell you, come on, guys, you're just complaining about nothing. Stop being a pussy. Just man up and get out there and talk to women. Sometimes I might say things like that, but not in this video. I understand the pain. I understand the unfairness of it. It is unfair. It is literally, by definition, not fair. It is not equal. It's funny that at times there are a lot of people out there in the world that say, we need feminism, and whether we do or not, that's not up to me. We're not here to talk politics, but feminism, it's not equal. Women suffer and women this. And generally speaking, very generally speaking, if you as a man say, well, lots of things are not fair as a man, men are traditionally the ones that are expected to earn more money and be taller and be more attractive and be the rock and not have too many emotions, or at least if they do, be very careful about how they share those emotions with other people. Men are the ones that put in 99% of the effort, maybe 95% of the effort in dating. And women definitely put in effort too. It's not completely one-sided, but men definitely put in most of the effort for sure. And generally, if you speak about that stuff, a lot of people just won't give a fuck. We in this community will give a fuck. I will always care about all of you. I will always care about women as well and what they might be going through. I care about people. And I think most of you in this community do care about people. But generally, yes, as a man, you are putting in way more of the effort. You are getting less thanks for that effort than some of you might be expecting. And there are ways to improve that, and maybe I'll talk about some in this video. But yes, generally speaking, you as the man are putting in more effort. I understand the frustration that comes from that. Like I said, I understand the unfairness of it. I understand the feeling of like, am I ever going to make it? Is this ever going to be worth it? Why am I putting in all of this effort? And for a lot of men, and maybe for some of you listening, some guys just say, you know what, it's not worth the effort. I don't want to do this. I think I'm just going to go out there and work on my business, or I'm going to just have a career, or I'll play some video games. And if that genuinely brings you happiness and joy, amazing. Isn't that nice that you found something that feels a bit more fair to you, that feels a bit more nice? You don't have to do that with frustration. Some men go their own way and they decide not to date women, or they decide to just be single, but they do it with a lot of frustration and a lot of pain and a lot of feelings of like, this sucks, it's not fair. So if you're able to, do your best to do that with peace. Go play some video games and enjoy them. If you want to build a business and a career, amazing. Do that, enjoy it, but do it with peace rather than frustration. But I understand that sometimes that can be a little bit easier said than done. Yes, dating is unfair for men. But for those of you that do want to get into dating and you're just a little frustrated, or you're in pain, or you're full of doubt, and you're not quite sure if all of this is worth it, yes, it is. not just for the fact that you get to meet some amazing women and that feels incredible. You get to have crazy sexual experiences. You get to have amazing dates. You get to feel the connection and the intimacy. You get to have cuddles. You might even build a long-term relationship. You might have marriage and kids for those of you that want that. Or you might go down the pathway of crazy, wild, kinky sex and have some beautiful threesomes and do some BDSM and all of that. Like, all of that stuff is absolutely worth it. I promise that stuff is beautiful. But maybe even more importantly is the man that you become in order to have a decent amount of sex or to find a woman or to find a marriage and kids. You are constantly on a journey. If you follow the pathway that I and many other men have followed of self-improvement, you are constantly on a journey of, I guess what I just said there, self-improvement. Every single day you wake up and you know that you're a little bit better than you were before. And that's something that some of you don't, like you're at the start of the journey and you don't realize how valuable that is. You don't realize how much that has an impact on the rest of your entire life. You don't see how, or it's hard for you to see right now, that you improving your dating life will improve your job life. You'll be more confident and more able to ask for a promotion. You'll be a little bit more sure of who you are. You'll get more compliments on your looks. You will get more job offers because you've improved your looks and your fashion and your body and your confidence and your posture and all of those things that we talk about. You don't understand that putting yourself out there and approaching women in the street, women you don't know, literally cold approaching them, will absolutely help you in terms of your confidence and your ability to make friends. Makes a huge difference if you're in a job interview or something. It makes a huge difference in the workplace. You'll be more confident at family gatherings. You'll be a little bit more sure of yourself. And if anybody ever does say no to you, which happens a lot when you walk outside to hit on women, if anybody else in your life says no to you, like a boss says, no, I'm not going to give you a pay rise, or your family says, no, I'm not going to give you a bank loan to help you out with buying your first house, or no, the government's not going to give you this subsidy, or whatever it might be. Anytime you hear that no, you don't give a fuck, or you care much less than you otherwise would have, because you've heard the word no 10 million times from improving your dating life. And so this process of going out there and learning how to date, or learning how to improve your dating results, I guess, this self-improvement process absolutely makes you a stronger, more well-rounded, more happy, more healthy, more functional, more peaceful, more renaissance man. You are literally a better man for the process of this dating. And that is probably the part that is really, really, really most worth it. It's not so much just about getting laid. This was never really just about pussy in the first place. This was about you becoming the type of man that you want to be. And we can talk in the opposite. For a lot of you, I think you know that if you don't go out there and work on your dating life, you're going to have some regrets. You're going to feel like, I'm not living a life that's true to myself. I'm just kind of coasting. You're going to sit at home playing video games, watching porn, eating junk food, and you're not going to really like who you are. And that is something that gathers and gains momentum over time. That regret and that dislike of the self, you not liking yourself, that only builds over time the longer that you stray away from the things that are actually important to you. And if dating and having sex and meeting women and maybe a long-term relationship one day, if these things are important to you, not working on them, I think you know that that would be living a lie. That wouldn't be authentic to a lot of you. Again, some of you genuinely will find some peace and love in not worrying about women. More happiness to you. In that case, I want to know what goals you want to work on, and I will help you with those, and this community will help you with those. You're very welcome here. If you have no interest in women, you're so welcome here. By the way, even if you're gay, you're very fucking welcome here. Women, you're very welcome here. Everyone is welcome here. This is very much like a self-improvement community. And so if you don't want to date, don't date. But for those of you that do want to date and that it is very important to you, not dating is just going to eat away at your self-esteem, your happiness, and your sense of self. And I said this before, you're not just going out there to get girls. Those of you that do care about dating, you're going out there to become a more confident man, to build yourself up, to be the person worthy of respect. And all of you are worthy of respect, but I mean to be the person that you yourself will respect. And for some of you, you know that you would be living a lie if you avoid this. If you just say it's not fair, women suck, how come women get to take all the options, or women get all the options and I have to put in the effort and it's not fair and this sucks and I give up and I quit. I think a lot of you know that you won't be able to look in the mirror and be proud of what is reflected back at you. I think for a lot of you, you kind of know, I'd be living a lie if I just pretended that I didn't care about dating. Again, if you don't care about dating, you genuinely are peaceful in your choice to not do any dating. Amazing. I'm so happy for you. But there are a lot of people out there who pretend that they don't care. And you will leave comments on videos like mine or other channels, and you'll say, women aren't worth it. Like, I quit. Like, I hate women. It's like, if you're really peaceful, why are you watching dating channels? Why are you going around on the internet telling other people how much you don't care about women? Generally speaking, if we spend a lot of time and put a lot of investment into talking about how much we don't care about something, we probably really care about that thing. If you really don't care about something, it doesn't even enter your brain. You're too busy living an awesome life. And again, that is part of this. In fact, if you want to be working on your dating life, a big part of that is building an awesome life, working on your self-improvement, having some hobbies, working on your body, building out some friends. A lot of you don't have any friends or any real hobbies or any sense of self. You can't look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself. You can't even contemplate doing that. You've never sat down and written a list of 50 things about yourself that are likable. You don't know the first thing that comes to mind. When I say the word self-esteem, for you, it's just a big black empty void of like, I don't really like myself and I don't want to think about it. And those would be the things that I would work on first. The mindset, the body, the heart, the soul. Improve all of those things. There are so many videos on this channel of how to do that. I also have my big, giant, free online dating or Tinder guide of how to improve yourself, how to get more matches, how to take pictures. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I've put out, and there's a lot of stuff on the internet that other people have put out. But I would focus on the self-improvement. That is what we are here for, guys. We're not just here to get some pussy. Pussy is wonderful. Women, thank you for your service in providing us pussy. Pussy is really fun. It's really beautiful. Women are wonderful. They're really fun to be around, I promise. But we're not just doing it for that. Just like for you women, any of you women listening, you're not just out there to get some dick or to get some money or to lock down a guy. This is more than that. This is about your sense of self. This is about your self-love. This is about your self-esteem, the impact you have on the world before you die, the connection you have with other human beings, the mark that you leave on the world, all of these things. And self-improvement is why we're here. It's about leveling up. You guys aren't just playing the game. You're improving while you play the game. The goal was never to just play the game. The goal was never to just get some sex and get some money and all of that. It's to improve ourselves while we do those things. And maybe this will help, guys. I don't know. Sometimes when I say this stuff, it frustrates some of you, but sometimes it helps some of you. So I'll say it anyway. Women have their own fair share of problems too. Like, dating is not necessarily easy for women. I have enough female friends. I have talked to enough women over the years. I have talked to my family members who are women. And if any of you sit down, or if some of you sit down with women and ask them what their dating lives are like and what they struggle with and what their insecurities are and what their pain points are, which parts of dating bring them a lot of pain and suffering, you'll come to see that women suffer as much as men. They just suffer in a different way. It doesn't feel quite as visceral to you because you're a man and you're used to your own suffering. Just like to the average woman, a man's suffering is not quite as obvious to her because she's busy suffering in her own stuff. But women suffer in terms of safety. Women suffer in terms of being judged as a slut, which for a lot of you guys, you can kind of relate to. A lot of you have a lot of sexual shame, or you were brought up religious. But for women, that goes several layers deeper. To be called a slut is one of the worst things that you can be called as a woman. And a lot of women try and own that term, but there's still a lot of pain there. I have a lot of female friends who've sort of embraced the word slut, but they still have a lot of pain around it, in the same way that a lot of gay guys embrace the term fag or any of these sort of words, but there's still a lot of pain there. Not for everyone, but for a lot of them. Women also, like I said, worry about fear and safety and guy being a creep or harassing her or not stopping. That isn't something that most of you guys or most of us guys have ever really worried about. Like, guys, have you ever really worried about what if I don't want to go all the way with this woman and she doesn't take no for an answer and she's stronger than me? No, it's something that most of you have never thought about. Some guys have thought about that every now and then. But most of us don't ever think about that. You're certainly not really thinking about the ramifications of what if I have sex with this woman? You're like, well, everyone will give me a pat on the back and everyone will tell me, good job, man, you got laid. As a woman, that is not the case. In terms of things like insecurities and body insecurities, so many women have that. In fact, guys, the very next woman that you go on a date with, play this fun little game. When you guys get a little bit comfortable with each other, maybe after you've been talking for like 30 minutes or so, just say, hey, what is one part of your body that you're a little insecure about? And I'll go first, and then you tell her one thing you're insecure about. You know, maybe you're insecure about your height, your penis size, your face, maybe one of your eyes is slightly smaller than the other. I don't know. Whatever you're insecure about, share that with her, and then say, what's one thing you're insecure about? And she will tell you, and you will look at that body part or that insecurity, and you'll say, are you mad? Like, your nose is cute, or your eyebrows are perfect, or whatever it is that she's insecure about. Your boobs look lovely. Not that I'm trying too hard to look at them, but now that I'm getting a good look, your tits are amazing, girl. Like, what the fuck are you talking about being insecure? And you're going to find that every woman has a plethora, a long list of insecurities and pain points and things she is terrified that you will judge her for, especially if you go to the bedroom. After you guys have sex or in the middle of it, you know, take a little break and have a cuddle and say, hey, what are a couple of things that you're insecure about with your body? And here's some that I'm insecure about in my body. You know, again, you go first. And she'll share her insecurities. And you'll realize that women aren't walking around full of confidence like they sometimes appear to be, or more to the point, like you project onto them. So many guys just look at a pretty woman and assume her life must just be perfect. What's funny is a lot of women look at men, they look at us guys and assume the same thing. That's what a lot of extreme feminism is. It is pure jealousy. It is projection and jealousy. It is women who are insecure looking at men and going, well, they're men. Everything must be easy for them. They're part of the patriarchy. They must just have millions of dollars and unlimited power and the ability to do whatever they want, and they must never be insecure, and life is just easy mode for them. It's not fair. We need equality. And a lot of you guys do the same thing, and it's okay that you do. But a lot of you guys look at women and go, well, she's pretty, so she must have no problems. She must have the easiest dating life in the world because she has lots of guys that would fuck her. That's not the same thing as finding a guy that will stick around. That's not the same thing as finding a guy that will be nice to you. That's not the same thing as finding a guy that's decent in bed, because to be honest, and I'll phrase this in a clumsy way, most guys are absolute fucking dog shit in the bedroom. They're doing their best, but they're just not very good. And most guys do not know how to fucking communicate, which is one of the things that women want most and tell us that they want most. Most guys don't have much empathy towards women. They're trying really hard to, but they don't have a lot of experience with women. They don't really understand women, and they don't really try to understand women. They just see women as the other, as the thing to be conquered. And so as a woman, you have all of these struggles or these pain points, the same way that men have a lot of pain points. You know, a lot of women just look at a man as like this stable, stoic rock who has to always have his shit together and never have any emotions. Like a lot of women look at guys like that. And they just assume that you're always confident, that everything's together, that you're perfect, that you never struggle, that you're the breadwinner. You're going to go out there and just earn lots of money and be ambitious, and you got to be 6 foot tall and have a big dick and all of this. Yes, a lot of women look at guys like that too. And that can be a lot of pressure for us guys, in the same way that some of our expectations of women can be a lot of pressure for them. And so I say all of this not to draw comparisons, not to say women have it tough too, guys, like, you know, fuck your problems. No, I say all of this to bridge the gap between men and women, which is one of the aims of this channel, to show you all that you are all human, and you all have struggles, and you all have pain, and you all suffer sometimes, and you might suffer in slightly different ways, but really they're not that different. It's all part of being a human. Women suffer, especially in dating. They really do. If you talk to them, you'll know that. And you guys, oh my God, of course you guys fucking suffer. I know that. I'm a man. I know that. I inherently know that, guys. I went from depressed and fucking suicidal to everything that I've built now. I understand the self-improvement journey maybe better than a lot of you. I very much understand the amount of effort that it takes, that you put in to get to this point. I didn't just wake up one day and now I'm having threesomes and open relationships and a coaching business and all of this. You know, I've been working on this coaching business and this YouTube channel for 6 years. Look on the channel. Look on this YouTube channel that you're on right now. How many videos are there? At the time of recording, over 1,000. Stop and think about the amount of effort it might take to sit down for 30 minutes or an hour talking, pouring your heart and soul into something, and doing that over 1,000 times. Think about and that's just the YouTube channel. There are then another 500 and something podcasts on my Spotify podcast. There are then another 500 articles. I've sent something like 600 emails to my email newsletter list. I've tweeted, I've posted on Instagram, I've posted on TikTok, I've made YouTube shorts. There's a whole bunch of YouTube shorts as well. And so I have made a lot of content. I have put a lot of effort into this business, to helping all of you, to my own self-improvement, to getting laid, to overcoming my insecurities. I've put a lot of effort in. I understand the effort. And I'm here to tell you that it is very, very, very much worth it. I promise. And if it wasn't, I would fucking tell you immediately. I have built this channel on honesty and integrity. My brand name or my personal name, I have my full name on this channel, Andy Wells. The Andy Wells name, what I try and make it stand for is number one, honesty. Number two, integrity. And obviously, all the philosophies and stuff. But I am here to tell you the truth. If this wasn't worth it, I would tell you. And for some of you, you might feel that it's not worth it. Amazing, brilliant. Still build your own beautiful life. Go build a business or get a career or have some friends or decide that you want to be a Buddhist monk and just be super peaceful and be kind to everyone. Whatever goals you want, work on them. Go 100% all in with them. That will bring you a lot of joy and peace and happiness. Amazing. But for those of you that want to date, I promise you that is worth it too. And if any of you ever feel frustrated, you guys know that I'm here for you. I can't promise that I will read every single comment. I try and read most of them. But if you leave a comment either on this video or any other video, especially if you leave it on one of the recent videos, I promise I will do my best to go in there and I will either record a video for one of you if it's, a comment that I think will help other people or a topic I think will help other people, or I will just give you a little bit of motivation, or I will leave a little heart on your comment, but I will read them. I promise. Maybe not all of them, but I will do my best. And if you're really struggling, you are very, very welcome to email me and tell me what you're going through. You're very welcome to, I've said this before, I've just started offering those $200 coaching calls, limited time only, and they're just one per person because I'm offering them at a big discount. So I'll leave a link down below in the description to that. You're very welcome to jump on one of those calls with me. Just throw me $200. We'll sit down for as many hours as we need to. I will listen to your struggles. I will listen to your pain. I will be there for you. I will genuinely care. I do genuinely care, I promise. And I will give you some solutions. We will talk through what you can do about it. I'll help you with your goals and all of that. So I'll leave a link down below to that. If you want more help in the proper coaching programs, those are down in the description below as well. But I promise, guys, this journey is worth it, especially if you focus on the self-improvement stuff. Yes, I get that dating feels unfair. It is. Maybe you could say it's different. It's very different between men and women. It's incredibly different. But at the same time, there are also a lot of similarities. And like I said, I am here to bridge that gap between men and women. I'm here to focus on the similarities because that's how you connect with someone. If you're wanting to connect with women and have sex with them, the way to do that is to focus on the similarities rather than inflate the differences. And so if you're trying to connect with someone, focus on the similarities, not the differences. But I promise all of this is worth it. I promise you're doing a good job. Like I said, if you want more help, I've got some links down below for coaching and all of that sort of stuff. But stay the course, brothers. Keep going. I promise if you just don't quit, you will eventually get there. And I promise when you get there, it is really, really beautifully worth it in ways that you cannot even begin to imagine.